and somebody, which I was trying to say this to my friends who had children, you're 7 years old and someone is stroking your penis. It feels good. Even though you don't have a name for what that is, it feels good. And when I first said this years ago, people were like, you're crazy, because everybody wants to believe it's like sexual assault and you're being thrown up against the wall and you're being raped. And I have said for years, if the abuser is any good, you won't even know it's happened. You will be in it and you won't even know it's happened. And if the abuser is any good, he or she is going to make you.
Hello, friends. David Both here again.
Oprah Winfrey, speaking on behalf of a 7-year-old boy. It's true, I endeavor to understand women, much to their surprise and shock and awe and horror, that anyone could ever understand a woman, for they don't understand themselves. Am I sure of that? No. Am I fairly certain? Yes. What did she say there? She said they shouldn't even remember. Well, I have a memory of being abused. Gotta be between the age of 7 and 10 there, I think. And it could have been chloroform. Could have been a freaking alien abduction. Something more mundane or something more bizarre. Based on what I know now, possibilities are pretty much endless. However, chloroform over my mouth and nose while being anally penetrated, blocking out blood on my underwear. MK Ultra was quite a program. It was quite prolific. There was so much abuse that they just tried to make people forget. People who were abused, they became the problem if they remembered. I remember a Dr. Moses trying to convince me of something. And I'll tell you this, the way that Dr. Moses talked to me around the age of 10, 12, 10, 8, 10, was horrible. He talked to the person I wasn't. It was as though he was trying to deliberately create a separate person. And let me tell you something as fucked up as that. George H.W. Bush, who may or may not have had me fight other boys to the death, maybe a man, I don't know, when I was young, before the age of 12 at least, if not younger. When I met him, he spoke to me like I was a person. Now, if you know me and you like me, then you think I'm smart. IQ 160 plus-ish. Cool, right? No, I didn't find out until this year. I found out a lot this year. Fucked up shit is. But so anyway, that's the one nice thing I have to say about George H.W. Bush. he saw my potential or knew my purpose, which is interesting because sometimes I feel like, well, time is non-linear. It's a freaking disaster. Let's watch this again, though. There's problems with this. And she's apparently part of this Pizzagate stuff. Oh, what the hell? Are you serious? Where the hell did that even... Now I'm back to the problem I had before I found this video. I watched it, but I couldn't make a video at the same time. Anyway, whether something feels physically good, having something feel good while it doesn't feel good at the same time is one of the worst feelings that there is. I met so many, when I say so many, I don't know how many, but a few come to mind. Really beautiful, nice girls, women, females in my life who I could have, should have, would have, should have. The chemistry was amazing. Why would I not? Why? If I could go back in time to those days. I'm making a video. And change that, it would probably change everything. And I really don't want everything changed. The point is the baggage. The things I went through really are unspeakable. And I don't really feel the need to care about it anymore, about what happened to me. And yeah, if I can help others and in my various ways comfort others as I do, then I will. If I can talk to people in the way I talk to Michelle about the drug epidemic and the crisis of intimacy and sex in the world, then I would. It really works better as a conversation, and as much as I'd love to role play multiple personalities here and have conversations with myself, what if I created her? When you make a goddess, you put her back together. It's impossible to know what you're doing, and she's at various stages of being awake anyway. She was probably dreaming she was here, yet she was. She was Isis, and she became Alice, and she started as a frog in the Matrix, just a young frog. I'm wondering if because of reincarnation sucking so much, I don't want to be a child again. Maybe to go play basketball and use my somewhat better functioning body, or go back to before I mutilated myself because of the many demons in my hands. I am a nana. My hands can send angels or demons pain or comfort. And they do. Far away. Not only that, but entire beings. Legion. An angelic warrior looks a hell of a lot like a demon when you fucked up and it's coming after you. And she's coming after you. I like to say that, interesting, I'd say I'm a nana when I don't necessarily, I've never really considered that before right now. But for the sake of thinking, in the Bible, the angels are male and they have their way with the beautiful women of earth. And God is male. And there was something else. But I've met angels and they're women. And someone said that I don't look like me. Yeah, it could have been a demon just screwing with me. You know, just a little seed of doubt to confuse me. That's cool. I don't know. Who said a demon doesn't tell the truth? So anyway, a child told me I look like a woman. If I am a woman, I have a beard. And in my way of saying things, I have a penis, so a little confused on the being a woman part. Except I'm not. I think Azazel was a woman. The soul is female, the body is male. There's a starving vampire in me. Maybe. But for the sake of ending the corruption, which is as unbelievable as Oprah's statement. I mean, the people were in shock. I heard of silence a few days ago. It was just too quiet. And that's kind of how her audience felt. I mean, Michael Jackson had no testicles. He was castrated in a satanic ritual. So, in a way, probably what a hormonally knowledgeable person who says the truth and doesn't really care too much whether you like it or not would say that what Michael was doing with the children or the teenagers or whatever was more like a circle jerk than anything else. Well, because it's satanic, nobody will say that he was castrated. When I look at religion, I have to wonder what satanic is. When I hear how Jesus says to get to heaven in the book of Thomas, you get a good sense of how much he hated the Jews. And he was a Jew, but he hated them. And I saw a post today about Jesus dying for something, which basically gave them the right to grow spiritually, which means Gnosticism, or the pursuit of Sophia, wisdom, the goddess, maybe, and knowledge of self, of the soul, is what Christianity was really supposed to be, and probably began as the Rosicrucians are Christian, the York Rites Christian. I mean, Amenhotep III and the Sumerian stuff. It was probably a different realm there. I've had fits, as they would say, but not trying to track the Sumerian language to Amenhotep III. And Amenhotep III and Solomon, the same person. I'm wondering if Akhenaten is another name for Solomon also, because they were running a DNA test to see if Tutankhamun's father was Akhenaten or Amenhotep III. But they didn't show the results because it's really important. Talk about inheritance. You know, and if I could play that garbage back again, why would I want to? I noticed she stuck with son, abusing the son. And she said abuser. She didn't say any other word to diminish the fact that she was trying to normalize child abuse. She said abuser over and over again. The abuser. So she knows it's abuse. So she's evil. And she's proud of it. She's not capable of much more. And let me tell you, when you try to do good in this world, it's only because you didn't fit in. You don't deserve a pat on the back for trying. Doesn't matter how meritorious or heroic or whatever you're doing sounds. I would say what would I say? I would say on the topic of drugs and sex, the adults of the world are either at the level of like a 7-year-old or 10-year-old as far as maturity, maybe less, maybe younger, or they have bad intentions. Because there's so few people who are standing up for anything resembling decency. Decency? What the fuck is decency? Well, I married my wife again. How many friggin' times have I been married in the last year? I think far more than I know. But somehow that's not that. Nobody cares, so. The show Rampage says it's a series, a movie series says we're just running faster and faster to the end of time. What is time? Time space is a plasma substance. If anything, I'm trying to teach my wives, who may all be one, sometimes they make it clear they are. If they personified every fucked up shit, action, and all the consequences of everything I've done since the creation of the world, I would just do my best to give them what they want. Does that make sense? No. That sounds lazy and different. Maybe because I chose to not reincarnate again, I have to just be here while my world, the little bit of frequency which I inhabit, gets repaired or I destroy it. One of the Daves I met, the first of the Daves, said how he strips frequency. Sounded pretty brutal. He said that I'm the alpha and he's the omega. And I'm like, I mean, that was some weird times. I mean, that's irrelevant. They say in the long term, the survivability of everything goes down to nothing. Everything dies and everything dies. But it's not true. Oh wait. That was the picture which best symbolized my time as Yahweh in the volcano. The movie Time Trap did a good job as well. That was another verification of my, why do I call them past lives? I'm Tesla. I'm Niggerzita, Thoth. Jesus sounds properly like a angry badass who gives bad advice today, so it's a good day to say Jesus. And there was a video. Did Jesus ever say he's God? And it's 48 minutes long, and I was just looking at it thinking, that couldn't be a 5-minute video or a 30-second sound clip of yes or no. Of course, there's the Nag Hammadi tax, and God said, I require faith. The devil said, I require study. God devil's always been with me. Right? Because I am John D. I knew he'd been to the firmament before I went in this past 43 years of life. So I guess I knew it was possible, which is why I didn't try to go there. I went there. Or I'm all of these and many more. The afterlife of all of them. The eternal life of all of them. Eternal life rising, What knowledge do I have to bring to infinity, to forever? Why am I worth